Hello everybody. Welcome to this broadcast. I'm Hans Johnson. We're going to do something a little bit different today. I have a big announcement to make, primarily to do with your financial future. For those of you that I haven't had the opportunity to meet yet, my name is Hans Johnson, and I want to welcome you to this broadcast today. This is a important broadcast concerning your financial future, not just you, but your family, your legacy, your generations. I am the author of this book, True Wealth Formula, best-selling book on Amazon, was released just not even 2 months ago. We're kind of doing something a little different here today, so bear with me. These are some of the, you can get this book on Amazon. Many of you probably have already had it. I've heard so many testimonials about people spreading that the word on this and handing it out even to teenagers. We had this is all the comments, all the this is pages and pages of reviews, 5-star reviews on Amazon. Hans is wealthy and down-to-earth guy who shares the truth about wealth. Highly recommended, most important book, especially for the times we're going through. Just going to read through these a couple here just real quick before we get started while we're waiting for people to get on. Finally, a book that explains how to master your money. Love that this book promotes learning how to fish. Great to simplify the learning curve and get rid of your excuses. One word, simple. Excellent, awesome book. Make money work for you. And again, just pages and pages and pages. Wealth building made simple. Why don't they teach this in school? We're going to talk a little bit about that today. Do not hesitate to buy this book and apply it to your wife. Husband and wife read together. You won't regret it. We've had just dozens, even hundreds of testimonials from couples. The number one reason for divorce and stress in a marriage or in a couple's life, often, not always, is financial. And this book is a way to, and this system is a way to bring that, to bring harmony into that area of our lives and to get on the same page, to have a proven system. Anyway, just pages and pages. This is life-changing, approachable, but not for dummies. Great, and I would encourage you to read through them. There's only 98% of them are 5 stars, which again, very humbled. Highly recommend this book. Practical and entertaining. Just on and on and on it goes. These are pages and pages and pages and pages. And then I'm also the developer of the WealthBuilder app that's available on the Apple App Store and also inside of Google Play, and obviously there's a team behind all this. Right now I get to be the face on this video, but there's really an amazing team. But this is a 5-star. These are our reviews in the Apple App Store. 5-star reviews. No bogusness here. Awesome app. Forever changed by this app. Amazing training program. Changed our financial life. Life-changing. Gold. Life changer. Reformed blue collar worker. The app is amazing. Building your legacy. Best app for building true wealth. Solid, honest advice. Grateful opportunity to learn from authenticity. Education and training that counts. Mind blowing. Love this app. Super simple app for complex topics. Anyway, on and on and on. So, but I didn't start here. I actually grew up in Hawaii, on the Big Island of Hawaii. Maybe some of you have been to Hawaii. This book and this system has been the result of over a minimum of 2 decades of testing financial concepts and wealth building concepts. I grew up on the streets in Hawaii in a broken family, maybe like you. A lot of uncertainty in my life growing up, and in an environment that was pretty chaotic. We moved all the time. Basically didn't have any stability. I started my first business at 8 years old, coming home from school. I used to go to school barefoot and would come home and pick flowers off of plumeria trees and make these flowered necklaces and sell them to tourists. And that was to make money for school clothes, school supplies, food at home. and that was my upbringing. And from a very early age, I had a really strong desire. Welcome everybody, those of you that are just joining us. My name's Hans Johnson. We'll have this video up, which you can get to the beginning again if you missed part of it. We're talking today about a major announcement that we're making, and it's concerning your financial future. But anyway, I grew up, at a very early age, just working, and it was some great experiences. I talk about that here in the book. I from a very early age, I had dreams, and I thought, God, someday I want to have some financial stability and financial independence, and if I have kids someday, which even at that time I thought about, boy, someday I'm going to have kids, and I don't want them to have what I have growing up. I don't want them to be in this unstable, crazy environment. There was one point we would move like every 2 or 3 or 4 months. One time, we were living in this one house in this neighborhood that I had the chance to go visit recently, and I would wait. There was a drug dealer next door, and he was an older guy. Of course, I was a little kid, so everybody was older. But I would wake up in the middle of the night because we didn't have bedrooms. We slept out on this porch, and all there was a screen, and we didn't have beds. I would sleep on a box, basically a box spring mattress. And my little brother and I'd wake up in the middle of the night of this guy who would basically be outside my window, basically at 2, 3 in the morning. He would be talking and saying, "I'm going to stab you in the middle of the night." He'd be just saying crazy stuff, So you can imagine the kind of things that if you're a little kid, you grew up in that environment. So I had, some big dreams, and just that's all they were. It was just dreams. Met an amazing woman at a very young age. We got married. That's Danny Johnson. Many of you know her. She's been an amazing life partner to me and our kids that we've raised together. I was talking to somebody today. They were like, "What do you do?" And I just told her. I said, my wife and I are just crazy Gen Xers that early on in life basically had a rough life, but started off as entrepreneurs. And, you might be an entrepreneur right now, and you might be basically watching this video, and you might be, maybe you've gone through the difficulties of having to learn how to, get out there and promote your business and sell and prospect and close and do presentations and follow up and then hire people and manage and train people and then have, bookkeeping and finances and accounting and taxes and you struggle. Some of you might be struggling right now. In fact, I should probably turn the page on here. Right now is a little bit of a crazy world that we're in. A lot of people are struggling right now with this crazy COVID thing going on. And, life is can be kind of chaotic, but when you're a small business owner, you can spend year after year after year, many years just fighting it out, and then finally you start to do well, you start to make money, and your business is doing well and it's prospering. And then you have advisors, right? And you think, well, God, I just got to listen to these people because they're the smart people. And, you take advice, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And I did that for many years. I was fortunate enough growing up. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. I'll tell you that story in a little bit, but here's my next thing. I printed these out today. Help us stay on track. Help me. At the end of this, there's 2 things. At the end of this broadcast, at the end of this video, I'm going to make a couple of important announcements. I'm going to give you something that we normally only give to some of our top clients, and I'm going to answer some questions. So if you have some questions about anything I'm talking about here, this is a free video that we're putting out today. And we'll answer that. So how to predict the future? Right now, a lot of people are kind of freaking out. There's a lot of uncertainty in the world, in the financial world, in the financial system, right? So I want you to imagine just for a second, imagine having enough resources. Okay, just stop, just calm down. I'm talking to myself, okay? Because I really do have I'm really excited about what we're going to share with you today. It's pretty huge, but imagine just for a second, okay? Imagine that you have enough resources in your life, okay? And we say, this book, True Wealth Formula, the subtitle is How to Master Money, Live Free, and Build a Legacy, right? So let me ask you this question. Would you like to master money? Would you like to live free, right? And build a legacy? I'm interested in all 3 of those things. I wrote this book for me. And a lot of other people have been enjoying it and benefiting out of it and benefiting out of this system. But I thought, money just represents resources. I got a young friend, he said, hey, I wish we could just live in a world where we didn't have to worry about money. And I said, Colton, that'd be a great world, but you'd still have to worry about food, clothing, shelter. So, what money is that it's a medium of exchange, and it represents resources. And but imagine living in a life where you had enough resources to have freedom, security, and fulfillment. Right? Just think for a moment, okay? And how much? What would that look like? Right? And and imagine if you can imagine that state for a second, what that would be like to have enough resources to have freedom, okay, security, right? Every human on the planet. There's not a single human being, no matter what your race, culture, religion, age, right? No matter across education level, whatever. There is not a single, in the heart, mind, and soul and spirit of every single human being across this entire planet, from the beginning of time to the end of time, there is an inborn desire for freedom. Okay, nobody wants to be oppressed, suppressed, dominated, stomped on. Okay, and that's all over the place. You're not going to find that anywhere. And this is why throughout history there's cycles. We talk about that in the book. There's cycles throughout history, and anytime that spirit of freedom is suppressed or oppressed, you have a rising up. You have people that push back against that. Why? Because that's just part of our nature. That's who we are, right? Security. Nobody wants to live in a world, that has no stability, right? In a world of massive chaos and mayhem, in a world where there's drive-by shootings in your neighborhood and you can't sleep at night because there's no security, right? So the natural thing is that we work throughout our lives to have to be productive and good people and do well, whether it's starting a business, whether it's working a job, whatever it may be, right? To have enough freedom and security in our life, right? And to work our way out of situations. If we're in a situation where we don't have enough freedom, we have in our spirit and a desire to work our way towards more freedom, okay? If we don't have enough security and we're living in that bad situation, the natural thing in every human spirit is to try to establish more security. And again, I told you my story growing up as a kid, and I the security part was a big part. Today in our world right now, we have a lot of chaos going on. There's a lot going on out there. Between protests and riots, and there's a lot of people right now going, hey, you know what? I don't feel too secure right now. And then last is fulfillment, and I talk about this in the book. It's the journey of the rich, miserable bastard. This is the guy that spends his whole life. He's a high achiever. He's accomplishing things. He's hitting goals. He's got money in his bank account. He's got a successful business, whatever. He has the freedom, has the security, but he's miserable, right? This is always miserable. And this was me most of my life for various reasons. We don't have time to get into that right now. I talk about it in the book. But, so there's a balance between these three things here, okay? So again, we're talking about how to predict the future, okay? Number two, a proven system to get richer every single day, okay? Would you like to know a formula, a system that works, that will advance you every single month, quarter, and year, where you're building and creating wealth, where you're on that path to mastering money, living free, and building a legacy, right? What if there really was a system out there? And what if here's the key question, what if that system is different than what you've been told and programmed and exposed to most of your life? And the answer I say to that is, if you can imagine having enough resources for freedom, security, and fulfillment in your life, the question that if you're willing to ask yourself that question, then you might be willing to ask yourself another question, which is, why don't I have that yet? Right? If I've been working for 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years of my life, why don't I have those things? And is there maybe a different way and a different path, okay? And then in this video, I want to tell you about some brand new software, okay? Hint, hint. And the giveaway is we're going to give you an implementation checklist that we normally only give out to our active subscribers, but I'm going to tell you how you can actually get that. There's not every business has to have capital to keep it in business. So we have an offer at the end of this, but this video is mostly an announcement about something that I'm so pumped and excited about, and it's an opportunity that you can take advantage of, and you don't have to do anything, okay? So there's no catches or gotchas or anything like that. Okay, when I was growing up in Hawaii, I was fortunate enough, I had a mentor, and I met this man when I was 12 years old, and thank God for my mom. She talked him into letting me join his martial arts training. This is because I was getting that environment in Hawaii is very, very crazy, and I needed some self-confidence, and she was smart enough in the middle of all of our craziness and instability in our world and everything. She was really smart to know that I needed something like that, and so this man happened to be a multimillionaire. So when I was really young, he said the number one key to wealth, okay, is to get your money working for you instead of you working for your money. Okay, that is talked about throughout this book. It's available on Amazon.com. It's the only place we sell it. Okay, number one key to wealth is get your money working for you instead of you working for your money. Now, keep in mind, number one key to wealth. What is wealth? You get to define that. Well, nobody basically, if you've never stopped and thought about it, then you probably think wealth is what you see on TV. You want to know why? Because that's what you've been programmed to believe what wealth is. You've been programmed and conditioned and advertised to your entire life since the time you could, walk and talk and crawl and whatever. And think about the number one babysitter. Sit down in front of the TV, or now it's on the devices. Okay, so we've been programmed our entire life that wealth means live in the biggest house, live in the nicest neighborhood, flying in private jets and driving fancy cars and all of this kind of thing. And what we do in True Wealth Formula is we walk you through a system, and through particularly our implementation program, we walk you through a deprogramming sequence, and we walk you through a system to actually get to a point, because most people have never done this. They've never in their entire life stopped and thought, what is wealth? What am I actually working for? What am I doing? Okay, and we're just relying on the experts, relying on all the quote successful people, all the big whatevers out there to tell us what that means. But you get to define that, what wealth is, and wealth is an outer game, but more importantly, it's an inner game, because I can have all the outer stuff I want, I can have all the stuff, and if I ain't got the inner game together, then I'm going to be that rich, miserable bastard. Okay, sometimes I have some clients. When I do presentations, and the women will say, well, because it's called RMB, and then say, well, what is the other version of it? And that's for everybody, people can figure that out. Some people get offended by that. I'm an equal opportunity offender. If this is your first time hearing a video from Hans Johnson, welcome aboard. You're either going to love me or hate me, and that's the way I like it. Hopefully it's something that you can handle. Okay, so the number one key to wealth, get your money working for you instead of you working for your money. So what is that? If you listen closely to this, there's two kinds of money. There's the money I work for, and there's the money that works for me. Two kinds of money in this world. Okay, that's the first thing. So that's money I work for is what we call earned income. Okay, it's the money I am earning. I'm working for it. Money that works for me is called unearned income, meaning I didn't work for what it did. Okay, and in this little riddle right here that I learned when I was a kid, it took me years and years to unravel this thing. There's a mystery and a riddle in here, and there's actually a solution and a formula, and if you listen closely, there is a master-slave relationship. And we talk about this again, how to master money. Okay, live free and build a legacy. You guys are doing a great job. Save your questions for the end. We'll try to answer some. Okay, is there a common pattern of wealthy people throughout the world on every scale? Okay, and the answer is yes. And there's three common patterns among the wealthy, okay? I'm talking about your highest level of investors, traders, most successful people, okay? I'm not talking about people that are, quote, rich as a result because they are just good presenters and marketers. And there's a lot of those out there right now. I'm talking about people that you've either maybe never heard their name, you never see their face, right? They often have multi-generational wealth. They have a different mindset on how they see and do things than people like you and I. It's taken me decades and decades to unravel this. It sounds real simple, but if you can have it here, you can go, oh, I know the answer, great. I feel smart. I've read all the books, I got all the information. But if you don't actually have a system that allows you to actually implement it, it's like fighting a war that you can never win. Because we have literally, however many years you've been living on this earth times how much marketing, advertising messages you have per day. And years ago, it was 10,000 a day. It's way more than that now when you add in social media and you add in all this media sources, okay? Times your inborn human nature, okay? So those are three different multipliers right there. The amount of years you've been living on this life times the amount of messaging you're exposed to a day. You say, well, I'm not exposed to that much. Even if you don't think you are, you're exposed to thousands and thousands per day times your own human nature, okay? There's over 180 human biases that are known. These are biases. These are default programs in our mind that basically run the show, basically, okay? In our frontal cortex, we can have information, right? And the common pattern of the wealthy, number one, they build a solid base of cash flow assets, okay? There's a certain type of assets that they focus on. Okay, number two, they use non-discretionary rules-based systems. They use systems. This is math, okay? Mathematical formulas, rules-based systems. And then they speculate strategically. Most people do the opposite. But we can have that. We can know this information, and we can have it in our frontal cortex where we know the right answer. But those 180 biases, all that default programming, that human nature times how many messages we're exposed to a day that is feeding that human nature, times the amount of years we've been on this planet, okay, is going to basically take over, okay? So how do we counteract that then? If we can read books, right, and we can listen to videos like this, and we can, go to a seminar, or we can this and that and whatever, bump into a successful people. Have you ever met a successful person? You go, how do they do it? They're not that smart. How are they doing what they're doing? So we can get all this information and still and know it, but then not actually do it. Not actually do the right thing with our money. Not actually make the right decision when it really counts. Right? And this drove me crazy for years and years. And I was like, there's got to be a solution to this, okay? So this is the world system out there, right? We have a global debt-based economy. Our economy is a debt-based economy. The Federal Reserve and the central banks, Bank of Japan, the ECB, collectively, just recently, and this is going to go way up. They've pumped over $20 trillion into the global system. Okay, they printed this money out of thin air to help with this crazy COVID crisis. Okay. And that's not going to stop, but this is a debt-based system. So for the economy to actually grow, they have to increase the debt. Now think about this, and I say this a lot of times, but and this is very offensive to a lot of people. Programmed to be a debt slave. Okay, this is the system that you and I were born into. We were born into this system, programmed to be a debt slave. Because if you have a global debt-based system that is a pyramid of debt, and if you notice anything about the economy and the global financial system, and you look at these cycles, if you notice anything, they never actually, the problems are never really solved by solving the problems. The problems are only solved by adding more debt, more spending, right? So what are they doing? They're continuing to build this pyramid of debt. Okay, this global financial system, right? And to build that pyramid, to sustain that pyramid of debt, they need debt slaves. Okay, and so again, this goes back to our own human nature and our biases. Okay, our human nature of fear and greed and envy and coveting, looking at what everybody else has and going, oh, that I wish I had that car, or I wish I had that, right? Never being satisfied and thankful. And actually, there's this awesome statement that the key to happiness is not having what you want, it's wanting what you have. You got to step back and think about that. Key to happiness is not having what you want, because there's no end to what you want. You can look all over and you can just run. You'll never run out of things you want. But what if you step back and you say, I want what I have? And then you go, gosh, I got some stuff that I don't really like. But it's a mindset shift. This is just one of many, many little deprogramming sequences and mindset shifts that we do through TWF. Okay, this is another part of our system that we're in. Bigger is better, more is better. This is part of the programming of our world system. That you are not a whole person. You are not a good person. You're not good enough, big enough, anything enough if you don't do more and bigger. That's the programming. That is at the very root. It's not, it'd be so nice to drive a nicer car. You say, well, Hans, what's wrong with that? I work hard. I deserve to drive a nice car. I've been working and saving and da-da-da. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. There's a way to do it. Okay. So we're not saying you can't reward yourself, but what I'm saying is that these human nature, okay, and the 180 biases, these are just the biases that are known, 180. Those are just the ones that have been classified. That's a crap ton of freaking human biases, okay? That's a lot, right? Okay? All of that stuff is all geared towards this underlying thing that says that I'm not enough at just who I am standing here, okay? And this desire for more, bigger, better. And again, I'm not knocking doing our best, right? We should, because it's fulfilling, accomplished. I feel terrible. If I'm not getting something done, I don't like that. That's a good thing. Because you don't want to just sit around all day and be a bump on a stump. You don't want to basically just be doing nothing forever. That's not a good life, okay? At all. It's a bad road. Okay? So you want to be productive, but you want to find that healthy balance. How do we find a balance? We're terrible at balance, right? Human beings suck at balance, right? Okay? Addiction to overconsumption, debt, and speculation. Okay? These three are huge. Okay? Overconsumption. So we eat more than we need to eat. We spend more than we need to spend. Right? We're always doing more. We're upgrading. We're supersizing. We're constantly doing more. Right? There's no end to it. Okay? Debt. We use debt to fund that lifestyle. And then speculation. We don't have patience. Right? We don't know. So we go get financial advice. We listen to guru this or that or whatever, or expert so-and-so. Right? We're addicted to the headlines. We're getting more and more information. It's giving us less and less of anything. Okay? And it's not working. Okay, our society is not doing well, right? In case you haven't noticed, it's messed up. Okay, now there's no society that's perfect, and you can screw a lot of things up trying to make things perfect. You have to accept that there's always going to be some percentage of messed upness. Okay, this is the life, and you got to be careful about trying to get this utopia thing going on. Okay, so addiction to overconsumption, debt, and speculation. We don't speculate. We don't invest. We speculate. We gamble, right? We take risks. We don't even know how to manage risk. Okay? So we do all the things that we're told to do. The system tells us, the financial planners, the experts, the advisors, they all tell us, do this, do that, right? Okay? This is our system out there that we're basically a part of. Okay, chaos and confusion is on the rise. Have you noticed that? I want to tell you this, that in this next decade, there will be more chaos and more confusion than you have ever seen in your life. This next decade, between 2020 and 2030, and there's a lot of people are like, damn, can we just cancel 2020? Because 2020 has been a doozy so far, okay? But this next decade, guys, I'm telling you, is going to be a decade of chaos. And if you are not taking steps right now to prepare yourself mentally, spiritually, physically, financially, right? Okay, the best time to do that preparation was 20 years ago. Okay? The next best time to do it is right now, today. right? You can't sit here and go, you can't just be like, oh, I should have done this, or I would have done that, or I'm too old, or I'm too this, or da-da-da, if I only would have. No, none of that matters, because yesterday's dead. It's gone. It's a fart in the wind. It's not coming back, okay? What you have is today, right? That's all that matters. What are you doing today, okay? So chaos and confusion is going to be on the rise. And then again, I already mentioned this, no system. We don't have a system, or what I call a master strategy. We just have more and more and more information. We have information, no end to the information. It never freaking stops. You get 10 experts on TV or on your freaking social media feed or in your inbox or whatever, and all 10 of them have a different opinion. It doesn't matter if it's finance, diet, education, how the government should run, right? It don't freaking matter. It's the land of confusion, okay? And the only question I have for you is, are you sick and tired of the freaking confusion, right? Are you at that point yet? Are you at the point where you are really inside? I'm talking. This is a soul and a spiritual, and there's for people that have eyes to see and ears to hear. I'm talking to you right now. Are you sick and tired of the chaos and confusion? Are you sick and tired of following every Tom, Dick, and Harry that's out there, right? And every system and every headline and every clickbait. You can't even get accurate information from the news, from the government, from anybody. Nobody knows what the hell is going on. And it's going to get worse. It's going to get way worse. So if you don't get a system in place now to be able to manage that chaos and that confusion, right? And you might already be there. You might be like, okay, I'm done with it. Well, I'm going to tell you a little hint. Part of what is the opposite of more, and more, bigger, bigger, right? So one of the things that we've been working on for a really long time, and both in concept and then like mapping it out, is and this gets into the financial world, right? Because the way that we exercise dominion and authority, and the way that we exercise stewardship over a small thing affects bigger things. And here we are, we're going through life, and we're doing all the things we're told to do. Go to school, get good grades, get out of high school, get that credit card. Oh, be good with the credit card. Oh, credit card, free money. Go to go get a college education, right? And we get these degrees, and the degrees are industrial age degrees, or they're like whatever crazy things, and there's no jobs, right? Unless we're doing STEM, or we need more trade schools in this country, frankly. But the economy has changed. We're in there's a huge shift going on in the world today. Massive, okay? Huge, right? And so we're being given all this advice, and there's massive institutions that are there, and the whole system and the advertising, right? Do real estate, do stocks, do cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, right? No, do this thing, do that, trade options, right? Do day trading, on and on and on. We're chasing our tail all over the place, and we don't have a clue. Oh, put in your 401k, right? We're doing all these things. Meet with a financial advisor, sit down with your tax person, and he says, oh, you made too much money this year. Oh shoot, what do I do? Well, go buy a new vehicle. That's his advice. 9 out of 10 times, that's what he's going to say. I remember that. I remember that in our business. We had a big, huge year. We've made millions and millions and millions in our business. We've given away millions and millions and millions. Okay, we have a nonprofit called King's Ransom Foundation that helps mostly abused kids. Okay, and currently there's a campaign going on for rescuing kids that have been victims of sex trafficking. You can go to kingsransom.org, and if you want to be a part of that. But we've given more millions than we've ever. Most millions have been given, and then to the IRS and taxes. Okay, all right. But I remember the day, business, big year. We go sit down with the accountant. Hey, we got all this extra profit. We're gonna have to pay all these taxes. What do we do? Accountant says, oh, go buy a new truck. I don't need a new truck. Well, you should buy it. Your business, buy the truck. You get the write-off. Da da da. Okay, you have to understand the system. Okay, this system, all the advice you get, everything all over the place is totally designed to support this global debt-based pyramid, global debt-based system, okay? Programmed to be a debt slave, okay? Bigger is better, more is better, Okay, addiction to overconsumption, debt, and speculation. The financial advice you get, modern portfolio theory, is total speculation, right? And these guys can't keep their story straight. They used to say 4% withdrawal rate. Now they're saying 3%. They keep changing their story, right? Because why? We have to rely on some, quote, person to tell us what to do with our money, okay? And, this might be offensive to some people, but if anything that I'm saying is resonating with you, for me personally, I was like, you have to be freaking kidding me. This is a freaking crime. This is a crime that we spend our lives, right? We're not out there raping and pillaging like they used to do back in the day, man. If your village was a stronger village, you just go rape and pillage, man. That's how you get your needs met, just like that's how you pile up, and we're not doing that. We're not out there, seeing our neighbor and grabbing a rock and running up behind our neighbor's head and conking him in the head with a coconut and then taking all his stuff. And no, we're trying to do the right thing. We're working hard. We're paying. We're doing business. We're trying to make an honest living, right? I imagine most of you watching this right now, you've done the best you can. You've done what you've been told to do. You're trying not to break laws. You might go over the speed limit once in a while, but not too much. If a quote expert tells you to do something, okay, that's what we got to do, right? But at the very root of it, we don't know anything. We don't know what to do with our own money. We don't even know how to think about money. Okay, so one of the things a long time ago, I got sick of this. I was like, man, this is just terrible. And I was making mistakes financially. Because I'm an entrepreneur, so that means I'm a risk taker, And, I understood concepts because you can read the books. You go, I get that concept. I understand it. But without the system, without the system, you can make mistakes. And at the end of the day, your biases and all your stuff going to take over, right? And so fortunately, I had a number of experiences, which we don't have time to go into here, but, I like to learn from mistakes, and I would, journal, like, what happened? Why did I do that? I thought this was going to work. I had a good business partner or whatever. And I started to look for patterns, right? And one of the things is, along the way, you realize that you're making random decisions. You have a good year in your business. Oh my God, I got an extra $50,000. What do I do? Oh, that looks good. Let's do this, right? And you have no plan. You have no master strategy, right? And so one of the things that we do with we have an implementation program that we work with people through, and it's an annual subscription, and it's basically like 83 cents a day. So it's cheaper than a terrible cup of gas station coffee, okay, a day. And as a community, and we have something called and this was something that I stumbled on, and I talk about it a little bit in here, but this concept is a game changer because what it does, allows you to get visibility on your world. And so we go back to what I was talking about here, okay? We say, this is really far back. How to predict the future. Well, one of the ways, if there is a way to predict the future, there really isn't, but if there is a way, it surely is not. You don't predict the future by having no freaking clue where you're at now, right? So now we go in and we're listening to experts, okay? And I noticed it. If you sit down with a, quote, financial planner and you pay $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, the very first thing they do is they say, hey, we need to know everything you got. What do you got, right? And so I noticed this process, and I noticed it in my own life that I had stuff that was kind of scattered. I had accounts scattered, had this scattered, had all this stuff going on. And I'm making these just random ad hoc one-off decisions. I don't know plan, right? So imagine having a plan. Imagine being able to see it all. And imagine having a system and a formula and a methodology, right, to literally keep you on track with the money part of your world, and which is also the mental part of your world, okay? So we call this a wealth dashboard, okay? And so I just got to talking about this, okay? Having a complete picture of where you are today. Imagine that, right? part of the reason why for all the stress and the anxiety and all this stuff is you don't know how to organize your life. Your life is chaos. You have too much damn information. It's not TMI. It's TMDI. And when it comes to financial, it's just a clusterfest. Okay, so a picture of where you're at today. Because if you can know where you're at today, then we can know what we got to do to get where we want to go. Okay, I got to hurry up because my battery's dying. Identify your exact freedom and lifestyle numbers. Okay, this is key right here. Right, so you're going to work your whole life. You're going to do so-called financial planning, retirement planning. Okay. And the whole thing is all based on save X amount of money, and then you're going to eat that seed. And when in TWF, we say money is seed. You can either eat your seed or you can plant your seed. And 99.9% of people, they're in the seed eating business over consumption, debt, right, and speculation. Well, if you're just save, and all your money's in the stock market, whatever, and then you say, okay, I'm going to retire at 65 or 70 or whatever, and then hopefully I saved enough money because I'm going to live. Hopefully I don't run out of money before I die. That's modern portfolio theory, modern financial planning, okay? But what if you could identify the exact number to hit your freedom number? And what if you knew exactly what that freedom number was versus lifestyle? There's no end to lifestyle. You say, well, lifestyle... People get the two confused. And one of the things that we did in True Wealth Formula is we said, no, there's a difference. There's a difference between being free. A free person means your food, clothing, shelter is covered. If my food, clothing, and shelter is covered from unearned income, okay, if I can't work, if I can't go to work today, if crazy COVID hits and I all of a sudden am classified as a non-essential person, then hold on real quick. I got to change this setup here. Go to a different deal, okay? Because I guess I'm burning a lot of battery. So if I'm classified, if I'm all of a sudden classified as a non-essential person, okay, and I can't work, well, I'm messed up. I'm screwed up. So if I know my freedom number and I have that covered through my unearned income, then I'm covered. I'm good to go, right? My lifestyle number could be anything. That could be entertainment. It could be travel. It could be a lot of stuff going on into the lifestyle number, okay? All right? And identify types of assets and liabilities on your balance sheet. Most people don't know what a balance sheet is. And a balance sheet is everything you own plus or minus everything you owe. So this gets into, again, the wealth dashboard, having it all in one spot, okay? Because once we know what it is, we can start with you in your world. We can show you how to do this pattern of the wealthy, okay? Build a base of solid cash flow assets, use non-discretionary rules-based systems, speculate strategically. Once we know where you're at and what you're doing, we can do that. That part's not hard, right? So identifying the types, and we have a very special way to do that here. There's only four types of assets and liabilities. And most people don't, first of all, they don't know what a balance sheet is. It's not that hard. I'll teach you exactly what that is. You'll be the smartest financial person you know. It's no big deal. But if you don't understand it and you don't have that knowledge and that understanding, you're basically going through life. You're driving 200 miles an hour through your financial life without a seatbelt on, is all I can say. Like that's like the most fundamental, thing to learn and to know. And this is a business skill. It's a personal finance skill. And we teach you. We show you how to set that up. Okay. I'm getting to this announcement here. Okay. And then use. Here we go. Now we're starting to have some fun. Use a proven formula to convert our earned income into unearned income. Our earned income is the money I'm working for. The unearned income is the money that works for me every single month, every quarter, every single year, right? Because once I know this exact number, once I know my freedom number, once I know my lifestyle numbers, and I have those two numbers, and I know what those assets and those liabilities are, right? Now I can start to work some ratios and I can do some amazing, awesome stuff, okay? So proven formula to convert earned income into unearned income, right? To stack the spiritual laws of wealth in your favor, to accelerate and compound debt payoff and debt freedom. Do you have debt? Would you like to be completely debt free? Would you like to just kick debt in the ball sack and just be done with it forever? Okay, and then compound exponential asset growth. Okay, wealth dashboard. Okay, next phase. Restructure the balance sheet for cash flow. We talk about it in the book. Okay, this is wealth building, right? So we have a debt payoff system. And do you realize that most people, because we've been programmed and conditioned to be debt slaves our whole life, that most people our whole lives, we're using debt. We're using debt our whole lives to fund our lifestyle. Okay? Because why? We've been told, oh, I can afford the payments. We've been taught to focus on two things, and this is garbage, bullcrap garbage that you've been taught and programmed. Two things that modern financial planning and financial advice and portfolio theory and all this crap, because why? There's a lot of middlemen. Those middlemen make a lot of money. Okay, this global financial system is a debt slave system. Okay, and the two crap things that and it's all just chasing rabbits. Interest rate, and I don't have the time to explain this right now, but if you're in our program, I'll explain it and we'll do Q&As and all this kind of stuff. I can afford the payments and the interest rate. Okay, you're basically focusing on stuff. You're focusing you're being distracted. You say, well, Hans, you saying interest rate don't matter? Yeah, it matters. It's not the thing that's gonna work. It's not the lever that you pull. Okay, and a lot of people get out of debt and then they go right back into debt. There's a reason for that. If you've ever gotten out of debt in your life and then you went back into debt, there's a very specific reason for that. Okay, so 3 times if you are using debt for your life, for your world, okay, you're paying on average 3 times in cost. Okay, that's how much you're paying when you use debt. Okay, 3 times. Just add it up. You just got to add it up. So between your mortgage, your credit cards, your student loans, all this kind of stuff, it's because of amortization, right? People don't understand this. So we have an actual proven system of formula that will actually get you out of debt so fast it'll make your neck snap. Like you will literally be dizzy because you will be like, what in the hell? Right? What we're talking about here is flipping this system inside and upside down on itself, extracting you from being a debt slave, putting you in a position where you're in the driver's seat, educating and teaching you how to actually understand the difference between assets and liabilities, how to recognize them in the world, how to make decisions, how to manage that risk, how not to be fooled by every Tom, Dick, and Harry pumping out, fancy videos because they got their fancy graphics and all their crap. And meanwhile, I'm sitting here in this, simple office and my damn battery's almost running dry, right? Whatever. Who cares, man? Right? We're talking about building freedom, security, and fulfillment in your life through proven mathematical system and formulas. Demystifying the garbage surrounding financial education and financial information. Taking that freaking cloak off. Pulling that damn curtain off that damn wizard behind the freaking curtain who's playing games and moving levers and nobody understands what the hell that is. So you're paying 3 times more when you use debt. Okay? You're delaying. We're talking about restructuring the balance sheet for cash flow. This is part of the process of how you create wealth, how you create financial freedom in your life, right? When you use debt, you're delaying your freedom by decades. Decades. Okay? You're experts. You're financial experts. For forever, they've been saying a 4% withdrawal rate. You know what? The last few years, they're saying 3% withdrawal rate. So you're going to spend your entire life listening to these experts. You don't know what your number is. You don't understand what a balance sheet is. You don't understand. You can't plot on your own. Okay, I know I'm sounding, this is me. I'm talking to me. This is how I was for a long time. I was like, I cannot be this guy anymore. This book was me flushing that crap out and going, no, there's a different way to this. This is garbage. And then you get there and then they change the rule. These so-called experts, they sit there and they change. Oh, no, you can't withdraw 4%. Now it's going to be 3%. You know, all the years and years, they say you can put away 10%. Now they're saying 15. They're still wrong. They're still wrong with their numbers, okay? Because their models are wrong. Their models are broken and wrong, okay? So paying off your debt, and this is a pretty strong statement, but you hear about risk-free investing, and people have all these financial products. Paying off your debt is the only no risk, the only 100% guaranteed risk-free investment. Why? Because whatever your interest rate is, when you pay that off and you accelerate that payment, that is money you are not, that rate of return is now going in your pocket. And it's not the interest rate, it's the freaking amortization. Look at the difference between principal and interest in your mortgage payments. Calculate what that is. And the average person gets their refinance done every 5 years. So they're resetting that amortization rate. I'm telling you guys, it's not the interest rate. And it's not because you can afford the payments. You've been lied to. You've been scammed by a system that is engineered and designed to keep you a debt slave, supporting this globalist system of these globalists who get bailouts. Every time the economy cycles, every 10 years, every time there's some whatever that goes on, they get the bailouts. And then they give you your $600 per payment protection plan paycheck, whatever. You want to tell me this system's not rigged? It starts with you extracting yourself from that. Okay, and then we have another formula, right? A proven asset. This is all part of this wealth dashboard concept. What if you can put this all together, okay? And you integrate it into your world, who you are today, right? Proven asset classification and investment formula to maximize security. Think about this. Maximize security, okay? Minimize risk and maximize cash flow and growth, okay? And then we have this is the other part. We're not even going to get into this. We have a compound return simulator to literally predict the future, to be able to put in numbers and variables, and to be able to plot out a map and a path of exactly, right? So I got a little bit pumped up, and good for you if you stuck that out and you're down with what I'm talking about. And you said, no, I mean, come on, man. You know, I'm just telling you, we have thousands and thousands of testimonials, right? People that have done this. So for years, so we've been doing this and with this whole concept of a wealth dashboard. And so the big announcement that I'm making right now, and all that was to make a big announcement. Imagine that. I could have just said, here it is, and then blah, blah, blah. Well, the big announcement is that we have a brand new version of our WealthBuilder app. It's available. It's in stores right now. You can get it. You can upgrade your app. You can get it in the App Store. It's a 5-star rated app in the App Store. Now, this is just stage 1 of a long-term roadmap. And there's going to be many, many stages to this. This is the very first stage. And sometimes I get a little bit excited because I see the end zone. And that end zone's out there a little ways than where today is. But you have to know where that end zone is and where you're actually, going and heading. And so right now, version 3.4 of WealthBuilder in both Apple App Store and Google Play. It's a free app, and the first half of this stuff that I talked about is all available. You don't even have to be in our implementation program to get access to it. The second half of this is exclusive to our implementation, but you can get a hell of a start. Just by getting that app and downloading that app, and you can pass that along. We got educational material, and there's all kinds of stuff we're going to be doing with that app, and just building out more and more and more. But it's available right now in the App Store. These are some of the screenshots. Dashboard, baby, dashboard, yeah. And I'm going to do a training. I might be running out of time today, if not tomorrow, on our WealthBuilder members private group in Facebook, and I'm going to talk about more specifically, but I'm going to do more of like a actual screen share version. You can get more information at wealthbuilder.io is the website we have for the app. And then what we're going to do is we're going to give you our TWF implementation checklist, and That's just for getting the app. We're going to stick it in there. It's probably going to be tomorrow, but you can get the app, and then it'll show up under Learn. There's a Learn category in the app. This is the first. This app is an integrated learning, educational, community, and financial planning tool. And there's some really cool stuff that we're going to do with it, but we have an execution checklist, step by step. You can go through, and all this stuff that I've been talking about, right? You can go through this, and you can print this out. It's a PDF. You can work through this, and the app will help you work through this. And you can work and learn these different terms and this way of thinking, right? And you can get this stuff. But this freaking checklist is bad. This is awesome stuff right here, right? We could probably sell this checklist for $100 if we wanted to, easy, because you will spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in the course of your life trying to figure all this stuff out, and it'll drive you mad. It'll drive you freaking crazy, you know, but you don't have to do that. TWF is a framework. It is a system that you can adopt to your own personal value system, right? To your own personal goals. You can identify your own roadmap for your own legacy that you want to build. You can focus on the type of assets and the type of investing that works best for your personality and your temperaments and your temperament and your risk profile, right? So it's a framework. Do you understand? It's designed to be adaptable to the individual, all remaining within a construct of a specific proven system that is guaranteed to basically force you to make forward progress in your financial life. So when I put out that crazy email, I said, how to predict your financial future. What I'm telling you guys is that I'm telling you we're building it right now. Okay? We're building that out. You're gonna be able to basically plug your stuff in, and based on certain assumptions or whatever, and you'll know the exact date, timeline, the whole deal. Okay, so next steps, if you don't have the book, please head over to Amazon.com and pick it up. Just type in True Wealth Formula, and the author is Hans Johnson. That's me. And if you have the book, a lot of people bought copies and passed it along. Please leave your review on Amazon because we really appreciate that. You can get the WealthBuilder app available in app stores right now, and you can, and then if you want to really do this thing right, then join our implementation program. It's at truewealthformula.com, truewealthformula.com/special offer. And it's $2.99 a year. It's a subscription, because this stuff, if you think, oh, I'm going to learn this stuff and then I'm good now. And no, you're not good. You want to know why? Because you're being bombarded constantly by the media. You're being bombarded constantly by this global system that is designed to keep you a debt slave. So we very specifically decided to make this a community of people that wanted to basically, that were fed up, like I was talking about earlier, and just said, no, I want to get on this path. I want to master this. I'm tired of money being my master. I want to be the master over my money. That doesn't mean you make millions of dollars or whatever. If you want to make $1 million, fine. You want to make billions of dollars, make billions of dollars. You know, if you want to make $2, make $2. I don't care. Okay, but that you are the master, not the slave, because it's only one way or another. There is no in between. You are either the master of your money or you are your money's slave. Period. End of story. I know that's kind of hardcore, but that's this. The world don't care about your feelings. The world there's certain things in this world. Math is math. It's always 2 + 2 always going to be 4. No, Hans, if you do it, no, it's just math is math. Okay? There's certain things. Gravity is freaking gravity. Okay? So there's some things in this world that don't matter what we feel, right? And so this is we need a counterbalance in our world, because we're so caught up. We're in a bad spot right now. Okay? But this implementation program, we have a whole module-based system. So it's part of a community. It is an annual subscription because we want to basically work with you long-term with that long-term relationship. We have video trainings and PDF worksheets that you go through. And it's designed to work with the book, okay? And with This is low fidelity here today. Okay, with the app, okay, and it's all designed to integrate together. We do a monthly Q&A, answer questions, and that's what, if you sign up now, then tomorrow, I think I'll do it tomorrow. I'm going to do a special training on these new app features, but we'll do it in the Wealth Builders group. You'll get access to our private Facebook group. What we do is we take the subscription fund, the revenue from the subscription is helping us to build this app out. Okay, and this app is a major strategic part of helping you and your family master money, live free, and build your legacy. Right? That's what we're doing. So God bless you guys. I appreciate it. I did promise that we'd do some Q&A. So any questions on here? How do I get to questions? Okay, if you have a question, go ahead and drop it in at the very bottom. I have no idea. Oh, there we go. Okay. So if you have a question real quick, pop it in and I'll answer it. Otherwise, we're going to wrap this thing up because I did promise that I would do some Q&A here at the back. And you can have a comment or a question or whatever. I appreciate you guys. Pass this video on, hit like, share the video, please. Pass it along to people you care about. I know I'm kind of like a little bit on the wild and crazy side and his crazy beard and all that kind of stuff, but kind of passionate. Okay, it looks like mostly comments. I'm not seeing now if you're in the app dashboard is going to give you access to the first formula that I talked about. It's going to help you identify your freedom number and your lifestyle numbers, and you can get your accounts set up. You can add your asset and liability accounts and associate those correctly and classify them correctly based on our money quadrant, which is a proprietary TWF system of classifying assets and liabilities and getting the associations correctly or set up right so that you can restructure your balance sheet for cash flow. In the App Store, if you just type in wealth right now, we're pulling up number one. When I looked earlier today, if you just type in keyword wealth, then the Wealth Builder app, you're going to see a lion, a logo of a lion. Oh, I don't have it with me right here. But anyway, you'll see the one with the logo with the lion, and it will pull up. And that we were trending number one under keyword wealth in both the Apple App Store and Google Play earlier when I was looking at it. So, but it has a lion, and it's called Wealth Builder. Okay, I'm not really seeing any questions here. Somebody's asking about, your daughter has college debt, not accruing interest right now. Not accruing interest or not making payments? Should she invest instead of paying off debt if she has no other debt besides one loan? You know what's amazing about this app and the software and what we're doing is, you know what's incredible? Is you'll be able to plug all that information in there. And it's going to tell you. And you don't even have to ask people like me anymore questions like that. You know, this is why I'm so pissed off at this system out there. And I don't mean to be rude or offensive or whatever, but it drives me. The system is so corrupt at so many ways and so many levels, and you know, it's trained us to have to ask somebody a question, and I'm tired of it. You know, I got sick of it. I'm sick of it for me and my family. I could go on and on and on. I could tell you guys stories that would blow your mind of crazy stuff. And so yeah, no, the app, you won't have to ask somebody like me, you know, a question like that. You'll be able to punch in the numbers and assess the risk. Now again, I'm talking. This is phase one of the dashboard that we have out now, you know, we're going to be adding and doing, there's a lot more to come. So like, think of it as like 10 steps and we're on like baby step one, you know? So this is the very, very beginning. And sometimes in my mind and in my mouth, I talk about the end zone, but where we're going, and it's already in there. You can actually, if you know how to use it, and if you're in the implementation program, you still have access to some of the other calculators, and you get the cash flow simulator, and where you can project out future outcomes, but as far as the debt goes, the debt software is in there for the implementation program. But anyway, you'll be able to plug that stuff in, and you'll be able to figure it out. You won't have to ask someone like me a question like that. And same with, like, people ask all the time, oh, should I rent or should I buy a house? I have this debt and this. Like, or should I make this investment or should I make that investment? And people just, and we're all this way. I'm this way as well. Because of our human biases, our human nature, and the way that we've been trained and conditioned and programmed. We've been programmed to always have to ask an expert, quote, perceived expert, and half of them aren't. Half of them are not at all. Most of your financial planners, and they're not financially independent. Most of your guys that are best-selling authors, they're good marketers. They don't do what they say, what they're telling people to do. You have no idea who you're talking to or who you're listening to. But we perceive human nature, our 180 biases, associates popularity, good looks, high likes and thumbs up, and reviews, and all. We associate that with credibility, right? We say, well, God, everybody else. A human bias is a shortcut. But it's often wrong. It's wrong most of the time. So we look around and go, oh, okay, I guess everybody else, this person's successful and popular looking, and they sound good when they talk. They must be right. I'll trust them. And so trust in somebody is actually, the more you trust somebody, nobody will tell you this, by the way. There ain't a single person you're going to find anywhere on any place that will tell you this. The more you trust somebody, your risk profile is skyrocketing. Hello? A big difference between amateur investors and professionals. Professionals are skeptics. Amateurs, the people that lose money all the time, the people that make mistakes all the time, they chase gains. They believe the story. They get excited. They believe the story. They believe the person that's talking to them. And what I'm saying, don't believe me. Read the book. Talk to some of these people that are in this program that have gotten the results, right? Download the app. Use the app. Start to learn this methodology, because the methodology is based on math. And it's not based on some modern this or that. I had to do crazy, stupid, ridiculous amounts of research, right? And these mathematical formulas have been around since the beginning of time. They've withstood every type of economic cycle. They put you in a position to be able to seize opportunity when markets are crashing. So yeah, I mean, this is when I said earlier that I think it's a freaking crime that we're in this state where we have to ask somebody else what to do with our money, because it's been designed to be so complicated, So okay. Yep, you can update it straight from the App Store. Here's another one. Do you think a 1% difference in an already 15-year-old mortgage refinancing worth all the fees and paperwork it takes? Again, these are great questions. This is why we're building this app out. You won't have to ask somebody like me. And you know what your alternative is? You ask somebody like me that doing a broadcast like this, or you go sit down with, guess who? A mortgage finance salesperson, and what they're going to mostly have you focus on is your interest rate and can you afford the payments. So you got to know how to crunch the math. You need to understand the amortization, but these calculators and stuff, and that's a great question. I really don't know. It depends on what the numbers are. You have to actually do the work and get the numbers out. But what we're doing with this app is we're building software through this dashboard where your numbers will be in the app, and then it's going to basically, the algorithms are going to tell you. And it already does that right now. It's the stuff that, like, with the debt stuff, and there's some cool stuff going on with this latest update. And it's not the percentage, it's how many years have you been paying that mortgage off already? If you go and you refinance, you're resetting that amortization. The interest is stacked. You're not paying 1% difference or 3% interest or 4% or 5% interest. Look at the percentage of the payment. You pay the most interest the first 10 years. Most people refinance every 5 years because they're either moving, upgrading, or taking advantage because the rates dipped. Why? Because, oh, I can get a better payment. The system must have its debt slaves. As long as you are a debt slave, you will never, you and your family will never break free. And you will continue to fund this globalist system with these global corporations that are abusing the people. So I don't know what side of the political spectrum you're on. A lot of people think, for me, anything that's big, I don't care what you call it. You can call it anything under the sun. The bigger it gets, the more corrupt it's going to get. And this is with political systems. These are with businesses. These are with spiritual institutions. Why? Human nature. So how do you minimize corruption? How do you minimize corruption? You keep it as small as possible. You keep it as transparent as possible, because you cannot have accountability if you have no transparency. The bigger a thing gets, the more its number one interest is in self-protection, protecting itself. The way it protects itself is obfuscation, getting rid of transparency, classifying everything as national security. Ain't freaking national security, it's you security. I've done videos, all kinds of videos on this. You can go back and listen to the videos, man. Congress got a classified report in January on COVID, and all your Fortune 500 CEOs resigned and sold stock in February at the top of the market. And then they want to give you a $600 paycheck, $600 check or something like that. And then you got these people rioting and whatever, and that was a made up thing. Are there problems and abuses? Absolutely there is. And we got some problems. But I'm sorry, the media creates these scenarios. So we're going to loot and riot, and that's going to fix the system, pull down statues and stuff like that? No. You're going to replace one system that has corruption with a worse system, which is only going to benefit the same people at the top. WealthBuilder. App is called WealthBuilder. Okay, guys, I think that's enough. If you are asking about the sample portfolio, then that's a question to ask in our members area. So go ahead and post that in there, and I'll circle back over in that one. Okay. Well, I think that's good with regards. There's a lot of questions all over here. I'm not a financial advisor, guys. I'm a private business owner and a private investor, and I share what I do, and I share my system, and I share the system and the methodology that helped me to break free and my family, and it's up to you to take it and run with it, and we have an awesome community, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you for being on today. Thank you for spreading the word. WealthBuilder is a free app. It's free to download. And there's some pretty powerful free tools in there. But I would definitely, say get the book and go over to truewealthformula.com/special offer. And other than that, God bless you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you.